Welcome back to the Ham Build channel. Today we're going to be working on the E36, getting the front side of this rocker dealt with, at least a little bit. I still have some pieces to make up, like our jack point and some other little brackets. But I'm going to go through fixing the big hole that started in this corner, kind of cleaning up some of the rusty areas, putting some primer over it to get ready to put our whole rocker over. So with that, I'm going to set you guys up, kind of do an overview. I'll voice over a few areas of what I'm doing, hopefully get some good angle shots. But so before I got fully started, I needed to clean the edge where we're going to weld, get rid of all this sound deadener, I guess it would be, all along our edges. Drilled out the 3 holes we're going to spot weld and put some weld through primer. And then we have our panel, which goes like that. Put a little weld through primer on the piece that's going to go over that. We're going to weld it from the inside in those 3 spots, plus a couple little stitch welds. And then that whole top edge will be welded end to end, but we're going to just tack it into place now and get these 2 other pieces fitted and tacked into place before we start welding. So I'll get you set up and start tacking. We got a coat. Okay, so with that, we've got our first panel tacked into place. Now we're going to work on this lower L panel here, get that one all set up and in place. I got to drill some holes along the edge of it for spot welding, and then we'll take care of this triangular piece up here. And then that'll be all for right now, as that's all I have metal for. But in the next one, I'm going to put our fender bracket here to hold the lower part of our fender. I got to remake this, and I'm in the works of remaking our jack point right here. I just want to make sure it's nice and strong when we get back to it. So I'm going to keep welding and fitting some of these panels. So with that, we have our first L panel here. You can see it's a bit bigger than where it needs to go. Quite a bit of added metal here, which I did so that I could cut out and fit it up a lot better to the original floor piece. So I'm going to put this underneath, trim it up to what we need, pop a bunch of holes along this edge so that we can spot weld it to our panel here, spray this with our weld through, same with right here to protect both those edges, and then this piece will be our next filled piece. And if you're wondering, at work, I went and bent this in our brake, used our shrinker stretcher, this side is a shrink, to get that curve. I used my original panel, which is somewhere around here, to get the rough shape. I figured I'm not going to be exactly perfect. I don't want to go put it in place, take it back 100 times trying to get the perfect wrap to it. It's going to be close enough as there is a big box on the other side that covers this. As long as the floor looks nice and smooth underneath here with no rust is what I'm looking for. It's all going to get gravel guarded. So if it's not perfect, I'm not building a Concord car, I'm building a nice car. And we're going to go from there with it. How I can also tell is up until where this edge starts to bend up, it is perfectly level with the bottom of our new panel, which is perfectly level with the bottom of our factory panel. That keeps us going straight, and then we'll go from there. But I got this all marked. Take that out. And as you can see, it landed exactly, well, just a little bit different than where my panel was that I had cut off, which means I was a little bit wider, which is fine. I made a lot of extra metal there just for this reason. I wanted to make sure I had enough to cut this down and fit it to the car the way it needed to be. So I'm gonna cut this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so with it cut out, we have it fit up pretty well. Added a little bit more material here. I noticed I had a big hole, so we cut it a bit longer than what it was. But we're fit up. We gotta squish this in a little bit, but overall, pretty good fitment for bare minimum tools at home. I need to spray these two edges. I got all the holes drilled through the side. So after that, we're gonna tack that sucker into place. Okay, so with that, as you can see, we have good penetration through all the spot welds. They come right through. They're quite thick there. All the way up and around our side there, we've got them. They will be knocked down smooth and seam sealer along that edge, along with new sound deadening. We have our line of stitch or tacks right there to hold our panel in, which it added quite a bit more strength very quickly. So now we will work on that side, getting that panel into the same position, all tucked in and ready to weld. Okay, so with our panel in, we now have our next piece, which we've got to tidy up a little bit. And it's going to repeat the same process. Pop holes in it, trim it down. You can see where my initial line was when I made the panel and how much extra I added. This one's going to be a little fun because it did have a little bump out right here, which I don't care about keeping, so we're going to have to fix that somehow. Okay, so we got it cut down to size, holes drilled along the side for plug welds here, holes along the bottom for plug weld here. I need to put some weld through primer on this side. Completely forgot about that just now. But we'll fit this in, tack it in, plug weld the holes up, and essentially this is done. I'll come back and weld it later on, but so far we've got the Okay, with that, we have our panel in. I gotta do a little massaging to make this fit because it did used to have a push out spot, which neither here nor there is needed. So I'm gonna hammer that smooth and tack it all in kind of off camera there. But we have our corner all tacked in. I'm gonna weld it up and clean it off, weld it up and clean it up off camera. But that's one piece of the rust all dealt with. Like I said, I'm gonna bend up the piece needed to mount the fender there and make a new piece for there, and then do the jack point all in one go. This will be the next video, but for now we got rid of all that rust and filled in the hole, so much better than before. With that, stay tuned to the Hammond Built channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always trying to improve my car, improve the channel, so come back. Should have some more, hopefully sooner rather than later. This took way too long to get me back to here. Life's been a little bit busy, so good night, y'all. Have a good day.